Hello and welcome back, dear friends at Lit eCity, the YouTube channel, the one-stop destination for learning important and exciting information regarding English literature. Dear friends, in our present series, we are discussing some very important writers, especially those writers belonging to 20th centuries. Generally, these writers are above. They are especially for those candidates who are seriously working for their JRF. And in today's video, we are going to discuss 5 such important writers in the second series, which are P Hartley, Rosamond Lehmann, Gertrude Atherton, Tom Wolfe, and Donald Barthelme. So these all writers, somehow they have contributed something special to the domain of English literature. We will take them one by one. The very first writer which we are going to discuss is L.P. Hartley or Leslie Poles Hartley, 1895 to 1975. He is a critically acclaimed novelist, English novelist of the 20th century. Though he is not as famous as some of his contemporaries, but his works are always in the demand because of a very polished style of writing. Now, he achieved fame when his novel The Go Between, it was filmed, it was adapted by a screenplay written by Harold Pinter. Actually, Hartley is known for blending realism and symbolism, and he offers a kind of ironic picture of the contemporary British society, the manners and all kind of these things. This particular ironic stance is the hallmark of his fiction. Friends, his most important, most popular work is The Shrimp and the Animal, which was published in 1944, is actually a part of a trilogy. Trilogy which is about a brother and sister, Eustace and Hilda, and the trilogy is also known by their name, Eustace and Hilda trilogy. If we talk about this particular novel, the title The Shrimp and the Anemone, it refers to an incident in the play in which Eustace, the boy, witnesses, and in this particular incident, he witnesses that how a shrimp, which is a seaside creature, animal, it devours a shrimp, and then he realizes that in his life also he is like a shrimp, and his sister, elder sister Eustace, is like an animal. Now, the first volume talks about their growing up and the childhood experiences of these siblings. Then, the second novel in the series is The Sixth Heaven, published in 1946, and Eustace and Hilda, which is the third and final part of the trilogy, was published in 1947. It followed them in their adulthood. Then, if we talk about The Go Between, one of his most critically acclaimed works, which I have already told you that it has been adapted into a movie also. The main character is Leo Colston. He is an elderly man, and he discovers a diary which he wrote when he was a boy of 13. Now, at that particular time, he spent his summer with one of his rich friends, Marcus Maudsley, and they spent this holiday at his luxurious apartment home at Branham Hall. Reading the diary, he recollects the memories, how he developed a crush on Marcus' older sister Marianne, and then he becomes a go-between, a handler of letters between Marianne and a tenant farmer, Ted Burgess. Incidentally, it happens that Marion's mother, she becomes suspicious, and he forces Leo to accompany her to the farm where she thinks that her daughter is meeting that particular peasant, and a very young this person, Leo, he witnesses this lady making love with the farmer. Marion and Ted are making love there. Ted eventually commits suicide, and Marion marries her fiance, which was her fiance even when this affair was going on, and he is a very rich person. Now, this particular, in the epilogue of the book, we come to know that this particular incident, it remained branded like a burning coal in the memory of Leo, and had a traumatic effect on his upbringing. So you can see that Hartley is always interested in presenting the world from a child's perspective. The second writer, once again an iconoclast writer of 20th century, we are going to discuss is Rosamond Lehmann, 1901 to 1990s. So almost the whole century she has witnessed. She is known for her skillful and convincing studies of young women growing up and mature women in love. Dear friends, Rosamond Lehmann's first novel, Dusty Answer, is the story of Judith. The name of the protagonist is Judith. She is a young girl who is attracted. She is an androgynous. She is attracted to both men and women and interacts openly with gay and lesbian characters during her years at Cambridge. So, you can see that it is written in 1927, and it was a bold attempt on the part of Rosamond Lehmann, who was also a part of inner circle of Bloomsbury group, to present such a character, such a radical female character. Now, her second novel, A Note in Music, which was published in 1930, is one of the first modern novels in which addresses the theme of homosexuality directly. And obviously, on its publication, it causes a lot of controversy, consternation among the public, that how such taboo topic can be openly dealt, and especially by a women novelist. Then her most popular novel is The Echoing Grove, published in 1953, quite late, and this particular novel presents the difficulties two sisters face when the one sister has fallen in love with the husband of other sister. So it's a very complicated relationship, once again presented from feminist point of view. It is also that Lehmann's only collection of short stories. It is also very popular, The Gypsy's Baby. This particular story is remarkable in her treatment of the character. And The Swan in the Evening. This is, or what is the subtitle? Fragments of an Inner Life. It is a sort of autobiography, and Lehmann described it as her last testament. She remained a controversial figure throughout her life because she openly supported the radical idea of liquid gender system. A very important writer we are going to discuss is Tom Wolfe, from 1930 to recent 2018. Now, dear friends, Tom Wolfe, as you can see in the picture, he was famous for this particular attire, white suit and something, a very sophisticated urban persona he kept throughout his life. He is an American novelist. Earlier, he was a journalist, and quite later in his life, he started to write novels, and he is a proponent of new journalism. Now, what is new journalism? It employs techniques of fiction writing into journalism. So that is called new journalism. If you look at the titles of some of his journalist articles, for example, his first book, The Candy Colored Tangerine Flake Streamlined Baby. It is a collection of satirical essays on American celebrities of 60s, and it is considered to be the pioneer text of new journalism, which uses fiction writing technique in journalism. Similarly, another very special title, unique sort of title, the Electric Kool-Aid Acid Test. It is a part of hippie culture, 60s counterculture. Now, when he recounts the adventure in this particular book, he recounts the adventure of Can Casey and Mary Prentice. These two were notorious psychedelic drug addicts, and once again, they are presented like fictional characters, but they were actually real people. His later essay anthologies on such topics include titles like Radical Chick and Mao Maoing, The Flag Catchers, Mao Gloves and Madman, Clutter and Wine. You can look at the titles and you can understand that how he is different from other essay or non-fiction writers of the time. The first novel, which was published as late as in 1987, The Bonfire of the Vanities. It is a satirical, sprawling picture of New York, lot of characters, and also looking at the moral decline at the end of the century. Now, in this novel, there are two major characters, a wealthy investment banker, Sherman McCoy, and his wife, who is also similarly wealth-minded mistress, actually, Maria Ruskin. They are involved in a hit-and-run car accident in which Harold Lamb is gravely injured. Now, Peter Fallow, who is an alcoholic journalist, and Reginald Bacon, who is an opportunistic preacher, they hype up the case, they create public awareness about this case, and Lamb identifies McCoy as the person who was in the car, not driving the car, but in the car. McCoy is put on trial and for manslaughter after Lamb dies. Now, Ruskin, despite being the one driving during this incident, refuses to admit her own guilt. So basically, the whole novel shows decline or lack of values in the capitalist or rich American society. The next novelist we are going to talk about is Gertrude Atherton, 1857 to 1958. She is actually very unique, a prolific American novelist, short story author, and early feminist. You can look at the time frame. Now, dear friends, she is best known for her novel based in California. The setting is California, including Black Oxen, which was published in 1923. It is a story of an aging middle-aged woman turned young again by a miraculous therapy. So it's a kind of, you can see some modernistic experimentation going on. She published her first novel, What Dreams May Come, using the name Franklin in 1888, and Adventures of a Novelist. This is an autobiography by her as My San Francisco, a Wayward Biography. The last writer, but when a very important one we are going to discuss is Donald Barthelme, 1931 1989. He is one of the best practitioners of metafiction. Now, dear friends, metafiction is a fiction in which the techniques of fictions are revealed, disclosed, and it is about the art of writing. That particular type of writing is called metafiction. Barthelme is an American short story writer and known for his modernist collage or pastiche. Now, collage is basically in which there are various incidents, characters, we can say allusions taken from previously published works. In 1964, he published his first collection of short stories, Come Back, Dr. Caligari, and the publication of this very book made him very a name to reckon with. Like Borges, John Bart, Gus, Robert Hoover, and Italo Calvino. All these names belong to the postmodernist novel who have no interest in following mimetic fiction, fiction that imitates slice of life fiction. They are not interested, rather they try to present life in a different manner, experimenting with the techniques of novel. His first novel, Snow White, which is based, or you can see it's a retelling, postmodernist retelling of the Snow White fairy tale, in which there are seven dwarves. But in this particular novel, there is talk about the plot progresses, talking about relationship, interrelationship, all these persons, and how they want to bring back Will, bring down Will, who is the head of these dwarves. It parodies the original fairy tale also, because the character refuses to follow their traditional roles, and it weaves together a collage of style. There are three parts written in small sections. Even you can say there are mantras, single written mantras in pages, and then basically there is blank pages. So all kind of experimentation Barthelme tries in this particular novel. His other story collections include Unspeakable Practices, Unnatural Acts, which is a collection of stories published in 1968, City Life in 1971, Sadness in 1972, and Guilty Pleasures in 1974. So once again we can see he is quite a prolific writer. Okay friends, with this we come to the end of our video. I hope you come to know about some new and interesting facts related with these writers. I am going to bring some more writers so that you have profound knowledge about these writers, and your chances to crack JRF will become more brighter. Thank you friends.